with Caspar Phillipson. Jackie is a fixture at this year's Academy Awards. You must be elated.
I am excited beyond belief. Yeah, I'm very happy.
From the Oscar red carpet to the ITL set, we have Caspar Phillipson, a.k.a. President John F. Kennedy. I can't believe you're here. That's crazy.
I can't believe I'm here.
That's another adventure for both of us.
It is, absolutely, yes.
Okay, let's talk Jackie. Of course, had a presence at the Oscars, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
What was it like working on that movie?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was just wonderful. I mean, it's an iconic person, of course, so there was lots of stuff to watch and read so that you could arrive a little bit prepared. But then, of course, I was lucky that there's a bit of a resemblance.
Just a bit.
So I still spent 3 hours in makeup because there was just took a little bit of extra nose and a little bit of extra chin and the hair. but then something magical happened because I was just Mr. President on set from everybody, and it was.
Did they call you that?
Oh yeah. And you just sort of have to go with it.
Absorb it.
It was
it's
wonderful.
Very method, isn't it?
Very, very method. Yeah, I mean, you get a feel of what it was to be everybody opening doors for you. Come along. Well, they weren't taking selfies back then, but still.
Right.
Yeah.
But just the whole nostalgia and
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
historical significance of being in a movie like Jackie and portraying John F. Kennedy is mind-blowing.
Yes.
Did you pinch yourself?
Yes, many times, all the time. Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm there working with Natalie Portman as well, who's been an icon of mine for years.
Let's talk, Natalie. What was it like portraying her husband, the president?
Yeah, it was exactly as, well, she was exactly as warm and wonderful and professional and amazing that you expect.
Natalie Portman, of course, had a very emotionally demanding role portraying Jackie.
Yeah.
What was it like when the cameras weren't rolling? Was she still in character?
Well, I mean,
and could you talk to her, you know?
Of course. No, I mean, of course we could. The funny thing about all the stuff we did indoors was in France. We filmed in Paris, in this incredible big hangar built by Luc Besson, the city of cinema, in a Parisian suburb. And for lunch, when you film in France, you have wine. There was white wine and red wine, and you kind of...
Caspar,
yes,
how you got cast as JFK is a story in itself. So Caspar, you're from Denmark.
Yes, I am.
How did Hollywood find you?
Oh, it's an unbelievable, wonderful story. I was touring with a Danish-English company playing Hamlet in Istanbul, and a friend of mine called me and said, someone's looking for a JFK. Can I send you, send them a link to your website? I had no idea what it was.
Really?
And because it's a French co-production, it was a French casting director who sent me the scene, and I literally shot the scene with my phone in the hotel room in Turkey.
You're doing what struggling actors do in Los Angeles. Self-tape.
Self-tape, absolutely. Yes, unbelievably so. And they clearly thought it was all right and asked me to do it again a few days later in a proper suit, because in Turkey I just had my summer gear with me. And then they called me a couple of days later and said, we would very much like you to do the job. And I said, what's the job? I knew it was Kennedy, of course, but I didn't know whether it was a short, whether it was a documentary maybe, or, I mean, obviously, well, a fictitious documentary, or educational movie or anything. And then they told me what it was, and I was just...
Beyond yourself?
Beyond myself, yes.
Do you see, when you look in a mirror, did you see the JFK resemblance?
No.
You don't?
No. And the funny thing is, I never heard it in Denmark. When I'm in the States, which I've been now and again, I've heard it often, and it used to be Bobby, I think, but now, of course, it's all over.
Now, you did a lot of research into the life of John F. Kennedy, and there was an interesting story that not many people know after the shooting in Dallas, that he actually was still alive.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I never even thought about. I mean, there's this assassination, and it's terrible, and he died, but he wasn't dead till half an hour after they arrived at the hospital. Wow. JFK didn't wear his wedding ring.
he hardly ever mentioned his mum. What was going on between them? So
what was going on?
Yes, what was going on? She was very, very strict, and it was a very strained relationship, I believe. They lost a child 2 days after childbirth in the summer of '63, and his reaction to that, which was complete devastation.
Back to you flying into Hollywood, and you're in this major motion picture, and I saw the view from the house you're staying at. This is a funny story. You're staying at my friend's house.
At the top of Runyon Canyon with a view. You can't go to sleep at night because you're just looking out.
And it's now time for a rapid fire Q&A with President Kennedy.
Yes, already.
Okay, JFK. Finish this sentence. When I got the call that I landed the role as JFK and Jackie, I
screamed my wife's name out and asked her to come upstairs so I could give her a huge hug.
True or false?
Ooh.
You were thrilled to play John F. Kennedy and Jackie, but secretly you would have preferred playing Robert Kennedy because he got more screen time.
False.
Working with Natalie Portman, who cried a lot in Jackie, was A, depressing, but in a professional way, B, awkward, C, intimidating, or D, surreal.
Surreal. Yes, in every meaning of the word.
If you looked like President Trump, you would A, star in a movie about him.
Yes.
B,
Yes.
wear a bag over your head. C, kill yourself. D, get a new haircut.
A little bit of D and then A. Absolutely. I believe there are many, many stories to be told about that person.
Now that I've tasted the sweet life in Hollywood, I want to
have some more. Yes.
more Chardonnay.
More Chardonnay, more parties.
In comparison to Hollywood, acting in Denmark is
Not too different.
really.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the parties are bigger here, the budgets are bigger, but the actual acting is the same. Jeg ved det ikke. Som sagt har vi lige flyttet det, men lad os nu se, om ikke vi kan svare på dine spørgsmål. Du skal tage tøjet af, fordi jeg gider ikke gå ind mere.
Do you have crazy paparazzi there, like we do here?
Not as crazy, no.
I'm not crazy, Beth.
But that's-
and I'm not
that's-
paparazzi. You secretly like it when people call you Mr. President.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The best advice I ever got was,
Don't go on stage in order to do something. Just go on stage in order to be there. Yeah.
such a serious thespian. If you met the real life Jacqueline Kennedy, what would you say?
Oh, I have 1,000 questions for her now. Take her out and we'd share a bottle of champagne and we'd talk about it all.
The most interesting thing you learned about President Kennedy is
His duplicity. He looked so incredibly healthy and youthful and full of life, and he was so full of so many drugs for his various medical problems. He seemed to be the perfect family father, while at the same time he was, he saw a few other women, let's say, like that.
I think he's a Gemini. Maybe that explains it.
Could be.
To trivialize it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then again, so is President Trump. Two Geminis in the White House.
So we know.
We see a duplicity.
Yes. And also to learn about his collaboration with his speechwriter, Ted Sorensen, who was of Danish origin and was a very strong believer, or he was a strong pacifist, but also an advocate for civil liberties at a time when that was not that...
Did he write the speech, ask not what you can do for your... Ask not what your country can do for you,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
what
they
you can do
wrote
for
they
your
wrote that
country?
together, yes.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
In light of today's political climate, what do you think President Kennedy would say?
I believe he wouldn't tweet. Is that
Best answer.
Is that too much?
That's a great answer.
Yeah.